Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. Look what we have found. Butch Cassidy's boyhood home. Come along with us and join the adventure. We are very excited to be here. We've been here before. The weather was a little bit different, but this is a find. So Butch Cassidy's boyhood home. Let's see what it's all about. Robert Leroy Parker, aka Butch Cassidy, lived here with his family from 1880 to around 1884. On November 8th of 1901, the Salt Lake Tribune reported that Butch Cassidy has more lives than a dozen cats. As it says that in the papers when they wrote that he had been killed more times and time again within the past 5 years, and he has also taken part in every notorious robbery during that time. Butch Cassidy is not a mere man, he is a criminal syndicate. Lots of original pictures from the papers. And of course the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. They were after him. The famous picture, George Parker and Harry Longbow. Quite the reward right there. As we walk in, there's plenty of signs that describe quite a bit of history there. But the thing that I like the most is his boyhood home. And there it is. The boyhood home of Butch Cassidy. Let's look inside. Oh, I can already see money on the floor. So this was it. Of course, it's been restored just a touch. The old wash tub, the old stove, and that would be a picture of that famous cutout right there. Notice that third hand on the shoulder, up on the left hand shoulder. This is it. The boyhood home. Hey, there's a 5. It's good that the people throw money in here because you leave a little bit behind. Them keep this place up. A little bit of money never hurt to take care of this. The weather out here can be vicious. We know that erodes these old buildings. Over here is what's left of an old stable. It almost looks like a brand on there, maybe. That evidently is the door that was on the front. Quite breezy out here today. Last time we were here was a couple years ago, and the weather was really rough. You know what I find interesting is, maybe somebody can comment below, but the way they built these with the, I guess, studs on the outside. I see a lot of older buildings built like this. Was this the way that they built them, and what was the purpose of that? Was that just the type of construction? Was it easier for them to frame this way back in the day? Because I see, again, a tremendous amount of buildings just like this. Look what we have here. This is definitely a gas-powered plow. That is an invention. I wonder how many people got hurt by those things. I could just see that getting out of control. Old wagon. Well, it's not really a wagon. This must have done something as far as harvesting goes. God, look at the inner workings of that. Another one. These machines look like they would just tear you apart. Look at that. And this. Imagine that getting a hold of your shirt. What would this have been? If anybody knows, give me a comment, because it looks like it had some kind of a auger system. When the wheels turn, it turns some gears and then drove this shaft to get something else moving. What is that? You can always tell a plow because, you know, it has this piece on it as a plow. Because it has this piece on it as a plow right there. A lot of adjustments. And that must just be an axle off an old wagon. It just forced that wood into the metal so it would turn. But a wooden axle, it looks like. And that is itself looks like that would take hay and rake it, some kind of a rake. See how it's spring loaded here so these would float. Now right here you'll see on this sign the population of the United States. This is the 10th census, June 1 of 1880. And you'll see Max Parker and Ann Mother, 6 of the Maximilian and Ann Gillies, Parker's 13th children. So right up here you'll see that they have actually listed on the schedule that would be Butch Cassidy right there. So this is kind of the layout that they have here. You enter over here on the parking lot. You've got the plows and some of the working machines that you would have on a farm. And of course the home would be right over here, nestled in those trees. And the barn, or I guess you would call that a sheep shed or utilitarian shed for animals right there. And the old mechanical wagon. Well, there's a little thunder here at Butch Cassidy's boyhood home. It's going to get a little stormy. Well, I'll tell you, when you are traveling in Utah, the Old West finds you as well as, well, you can find the Old West. So last time we were here, we saw these as well. Look at these trees. They are just massive. And you know darn good and well that these trees were here when Butch Cassidy's boyhood home existed here as well. I always said if trees could talk and tell stories, I'd sit and listen all day long, because I bet these have some good ones. Seeing all those cowboys riding horseback, running from the law. One thing I'll share, as interesting as this location is that there's a Butch Cassidy trail here. So right up there, there's kind of a road up here. Definitely some thunder. So there's a trail up here, and you can, you know, take a nice little walk as well. And right where the home is, in those trees, right over there's a place for RVs and things. So if you ever get up this way, there's even restrooms. So it's a really nice destination if you're on the road RVing or you want to come up here and picnic. But at the same time, you get to picnic at Butch Cassidy's boyhood home and get to walk these trails. Good stuff. Now the trail goes behind all this farmland. And of course the farming is what was happening here when Butch Cassidy was here. So family of farmers for sure. And a lot of kids were raised in that home. And Butch Cassidy, one of them. Well, that's going to do it for our location here at Butch Cassidy's boyhood home. Until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades. We'll see you in the next one. We're going to head down the road to our next location. I think it's really exciting to see Old West history like this. It's an original home of an outlaw.